So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to deploy the embeddable version of the status board. So what we need to do is go back into the front end, and we want to make sure, go back into the config inside of source. And if we look at the default config, we can see that these are actually our values. So we're putting the standalone inside of this bucket. So the bucket's name is this, and the actual path in the bucket or fake folder structure is this. So when we deploy the standalone version, it goes into this S3 bucket. So you're going to want to replace these values or go ahead and copy and paste these into the custom config and give it your bucket name and my path. And then we'll actually upload the script for you guys to use there. Cool, so I'm just gonna go ahead and upload it to where we have been uploading it. So if we go back into the command line and look at it, we're actually gonna look at the package.json at the commands. So we've already seen start, it starts the application. We've already seen build, it builds the standalone application and the files needed for the actual other one. For the embeddable one. So we're going to actually run the build again. npm run build, and that will go ahead and regenerate our bundle, our production ready bundle. And then the command that we're going to run is the dist command. And all these scripts live inside of the scripts folder. You can take a look at what they're doing under the hood. But this dist folder basically will auto-magically upload the JavaScript to S3 for you and give you back a handy loader link that you won't need to change ever on your site, which is super, super handy. But cool. So we've run the build. Build is done. So now I'm going to clear that. I'm going to run npm run dist. Again, you're going to want to plug in your bucket credentials. And there we have it. So we've redeployed the file from our build folder. It's telling us where that lives inside of AWS. But if we embedded this into our site, we would have to change it every time we change anything, any of the config or any of the columns or what have you. And that's a real pain because this is hashed. It's just so it's cached in the browser. And that's a real pain to keep updating on your site. So what we've gone ahead and done, just for convenience's sake, is there's actually a loader script that will do all that for you. And you only need to embed this script once on your site, on the page where you want this status board to live, and it will go ahead and render that forever. Every time you run the dist command, it'll automatically update the loader for you, which is super handy. So really all you need to do is grab this script tag, and you can see it's pointing to the status board loader here, and include that before the close body tag on your site. And then the only other thing that you need to do is actually include the mount node for the React application. So if just this is loaded and there's no div with your ID on there, and this is configurable by the way, by default it's status board. But yeah, so basically all you need to do is include the script on your site and include a div with the ID of status board. So what we can actually see is on our site here, we have, here's our div of status board. When the page loads, it's completely empty. And then the loader script kicks in, which is right here. And it'll actually load that other JavaScript file for us and then bootstrap the application. So here we can basically load the status board on any page of our site and rebuild it independently of our site. So it's really nice for updates. The other benefit of doing it this way is you get some long-term caching benefits. So the loader is very tiny and not cached very long at all, but the other file, the caching header, is set for an extremely long time. So if nothing ever changes, they're getting that cache version, but if something does change, you can get that new version because this loader is never cached. And if we actually take a look at the source of this, we can see that loader is super simple script where basically it's taking that, and this is what the build does, the npm run dist does. It'll automatically regenerate this for you and load in the correct hash. But yeah, so that is basically how you insert that into your site. So we have it on our site right here. We just have the div of status board. But yeah, that is all there is to it, to making an embeddable version. And one last thing to note, if you are using an Ajax driven site or a router driven site like React Router, there is a method to reload the status board. If someone navigates away from your route and navigates to it, window.reload status board will actually go ahead and reload your application in that mount node. But yeah, that's pretty much it. All these instructions as well are in the front end of the scope application, and as well as all the back end instructions are in the back end. But yeah, feel free to let me know if you have any questions. Tweet at me at David Wells. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy Scope, the open source status board.